Hi everybody. So today I wanted to talk about social media and what social media platforms I look at daily and how I receive my news daily. So I wanted to start off with news and the two main news sources I get daily. So the first one I receive is BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed focuses on the iGeneration and the millennials because that's where they want to reach out to. I will go onto my BuzzFeed app I have on my phone every day, and I can check on the news when I just click on the app, but then I can also um, take quizzes or see what's trending in our society. And then if I don't want to look at the BuzzFeed app or if I'm just scrolling through Instagram, I can click on their stories and see what they're talking about. And also, BuzzFeed has a huge social media platform on Instagram, which I can find very useful because if I wanted to see something about the news, I can just click on BuzzFeed News on their Instagram account and see what they also have. They also just have a regular account I can go on to. I think one perk of looking at BuzzFeed News is that since they target it towards the millennials and iGeneration, we are more interested into what is going on in the world because I feel like other news um, sources will target it towards our parents and not towards what we are um, interested in, what our viewpoints are. Another mass media source I get my news from is Vice News. Vice News is very unique because they cover stories that aren't as discussed in our world or in our news. So I think that's really interesting, and it's very easy to go onto YouTube and just click on a video and learn something new. I believe Vice News targets their audience towards almost everybody because they cover topics that a lot of people in the United States can relate to. But being in iGeneration, I find this fascinating and really interesting to see because some of the stories I can't find anywhere else that are being covered by any other news outlets. Vice News also has a website that's very easy to access. And so I wanted to give an example or a couple examples of what they cover that is similar to the news but is also different. So when I pull up on my phone, there's a couple headlines that I find interesting, like scientists find evidence of water on potentially habitable super Earth. Or another one, Trump's war on abortion is closing clinics that don't even offer abortions. So I find this very interesting to read, and it's not just the regular headline. This makes me want to jump in and see what is actually happening in this world so I can be educated and to be kept up to date. I choose to receive my news from Vice and BuzzFeed because I see it as two news sources that aren't just one-sided, and I feel like you can see the whole picture when you are learning about the current issues in the United States or even globally. Now I want to talk about social media and the two social media accounts I use. So first off, I want to start with Instagram. Instagram is a social media account of where you can post pictures of what you feel like is important in your life or just of anything. Some people use Instagram as their business model too. I personally use it for just posting about all my travels, which is really neat to see. And then also being able to see what other people post and what is going on in their lives is what makes it really cool. I feel like Instagram is a slightly better version of Facebook because Facebook was started out before Instagram got popular, and Facebook is now what our parents used. So that's how they use their social media. But Instagram is different because it's targeted more towards my generation and the millennials. And now I think some of our parents are now getting on social media on Instagram to catch up with our generation. Instagram has made a huge impact on our society now because People now are having careers just based on what they post on Instagram and can make up to hundreds of thousands of dollars just off one post. Um, this can be great for some people. The problem is, I feel like with Instagram is a lot of people compare other people's lives just through a screen and don't see the reality of their whole life and just show their highlighted moments. So people may not have the realistic ideal of what their whole life is, which can cause issues with um, their identity. The other social media account I'm on is Snapchat. And I like Snapchat a lot because you can take pictures and then it's like a text with just a picture in it. So then if you want to talk to somebody without calling them, you can just take a picture of yourself and then on the text it can be like, "Hey, how's it going? Like what's going on with you?" So you can see their face and reach out to them in a different way than FaceTime or anything like that. And when you post on Snapchat, it's only there for 24 hours. So you can't just click on their account and just be like, "Oh, what did they post 6 months ago?" It's just for that day at that time. I see Snapchat being a completely different social media platform because when you use Snapchat, it's there for 24 hours. And so people, I think, use it more often, even daily. And other than Instagram, they might just check what people are posting on Instagram, but they won't post every day on Instagram. But with Snapchat, I see more people posting all the time because it only lasts for 24 hours, which I think is a huge difference on social media. Snapchat also, I think, has a different effect on our society. I don't think people are as worried as what they're going to post on Snapchat as they are on Instagram because it's a lot harder for people to look up you and see what you've posted because they have to have your account on Snapchat and it would only last for 24 hours versus them looking you up on Google and then clicking on your Instagram account if you're public and they can just view what you posted months ago and they may not like that. So I think people are less worried about what they post on Snapchat versus Instagram. Finally, I think social media can be really useful in certain ways, but also can be dangerous if you aren't careful with what you post or who you're friends with online. So social media can be a good way of learning about what other people are doing and seeing and catching up with people on social media, but just be wise and be careful on how you use it. And I think that's a good way people should look at social media.